Vaquero Radio is brought to you in part by M Crowns. M Crowns specializes in custom hats. With 7 years of experience, Miguel Saceda makes custom hats with you and your lifestyle in mind. Fashion hats, western hats, any choice you want, it doesn't matter, he'll do it for you. M Crowns also specializes in restorations. If it's cleaning, reshaping, or restoration of an inside liner, he's there to help. Located in the Mercado District, 4400 North 23rd Street in McAllen, Texas, M Crowns waits for you. Vaquero Radio is sponsored in part by the UTRGV Information Technology Department, which will host IT Tech Days from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. November 18th in the University Ballroom on the Edinburgh campus, and November 22nd in the Rotunda on the Harlingen campus. The event welcomes students to speak with technology experts from the IT departments who will provide information on how to kickstart their career in the technology industry as a student. Attendees can also learn about technology available at UTRGV and get free advice on personal computers and devices. There will be prize drawings, free food, and drinks.
Good morning, Vaqueros. Today is Monday, November 18th, and it's currently 94 degrees outside. We are coming to you from our Edinburgh studio. I'm Ariana Galladro.
And I am Alejandro Lopez.
And this is
Vaquero News.
Campus news,
events, games,
and activities
all in one place.
This is Vaquero Radio, the Val Student Station.
Monday and Wednesday at 11 a.m.
Vaquero Radio, where your
story begins.
As the general elections wraps up, America saw former President Donald Trump rise again in the political power, mostly due to voters favoring his economic policies. Here's Victoria Gonzalez with more.
After surviving 2 assassination attempts, 2 impeachments, a failed effort to overturn the 2020 election, and legal challenges, Donald Trump will return to the political stage as the 47th President of the United States. Trump's victory was largely driven by his economic policies, which resonated with voters struggling with the standard of living under the Biden-Harris administration. His focus on tax cuts, immigration, and a pro-business approach led voters to believe these elements would boost economic growth and job creation. But some voters were skeptical of Trump's policies, believing his 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act disproportionately benefited the wealthy, while failing to ease the financial burden on the middle and lower classes. UTRGV political science professor Clyde Barrow said the tax cuts Trump imposed only benefited the top 1% of the wealthiest Americans, which totaled a $1.5 trillion tax cut.
Did that cause the economy to grow? No, it doesn't, because billionaires just collect it and sit on it. They buy stocks and bonds, but it doesn't create any real economic growth. So it's a redistribution of wealth from the bottom to the top. It really doesn't benefit the economy in any significant way.
Gary Groves, a member of the Hidalgo County GOP, argues the concept behind tax cuts is to give consumers more disposable income. Groves said during Trump's previous tax cuts, government revenue from taxes actually increased despite lower tax rates. This happened because a thriving economy and increased consumer spending boosted overall economic activity.
Theory there is give money to people to create jobs and to spend money rather than the government taking the money from people and spending it on things that, are not always productive, such as wars.
Groves emphasized lowering taxes puts more money into the hands of Americans and corporations, helping to create jobs and stimulate the economy.
Lowering taxes is giving money to the American people, to the corporations to create more jobs. More money came in when they cut taxes, again, because it stimulates the economy, and putting money in the hands of consumers and corporations creates more money, adds jobs, versus taking it away with a government that, tends to waste it on wars and giving it to other countries and spending it on projects that many times don't help anything.
Trump has proposed lowering the corporate tax rate from 21% to 15% for companies that manufacture products in the U.S., according to the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget. Diego Escobari, PhD program director and economics professor in the Robert C. Vaquer College of Business and Entrepreneurship, said large firms with stocks will benefit by keeping the money instead of paying taxes.
This is typically money that corporations use to buy back their stocks. So this is going to typically push their stock prices up. Broadly speaking, if you think about firms and if you see lower taxes, you would keep your fingers crossed as consumers and say, hey, if this firm is paying lower taxes, I would like to see lower prices, right, on the products that they are producing.
Whether companies lower prices depends on the industry's competitiveness. He said that in highly competitive industries, prices may drop, but in less competitive ones, prices are unlikely to change.
Lower corporate taxes might not go to consumers, but those typically will go to higher stock prices, or hopefully, if it's not final consumers that would see lower prices, the hope would also go to, let's say, firms coming up with investments, right? If this firm is paying less taxes, hopefully the additional amount of money they have, they can reinvest it, and this will hopefully move the economy.
Voter dissatisfaction with inflation was a key issue in the recent election. While Trump has pledged to reduce inflation, his proposed trade taxes may contradict that goal. The Tax Foundation reports that the president-elect plans tariffs of 10% to 20% on all imports, 60% on Chinese imports, and 25% to 100% on Mexican imports. Javier Villarreal, communications director for the Hidalgo County Young Democrats, expressed concern that if Trump proceeds with his tariff policy, it could leave citizens struggling to make ends meet.
Because people are not able to meet the cost of living, they're going to be asking the government for food stamps or other resources. And at the end of the day, either he's going to have to provide to his constituents or he's going to say no.
Grove said tariffs are in place because other countries have been imposing tariffs on American goods. This led U.S. companies to move production overseas to bypass those tariffs.
Foreign companies will have to come here to produce goods. Our companies don't have to go over there to produce goods. And we are an open playing field, so it would create more competition. In the end of the day, less inflation.
Barrow said if Trump follows through, it could return America to 1950s tariff policies, where the National Bureau of Economic Research said states with high tariffs face price distortions and low economic performance after the 1950s.
And just give you one simple example, Walmart imports from 60 to 80% of everything it sells from China. So if you impose a 60% tariff on China, you can immediately expect whatever shoes, clothes, or anything else you buy at Walmart to increase from anywhere to 40 to 60%.
Another controversial policy from Trump's administration was his plan for mass deportation of millions of people who entered the country illegally. As of 2022, unauthorized immigrants made up 3.3% of the U.S. population, according to the Pew Research Center. Despite their undocumented status, these individuals contributed $96.7 billion in federal, state, and local taxes in 2022, based on the data from the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy. Barrow highlighted that attempting to deport all immigrants could strain the economy, leading to labor shortages, increased inflation, and a significant decline in their contributions to federal, state, and local budgets.
When there's a shortage of anything, the price goes up. So you layer on all of these policies. Should Trump actually succeed in implementing each one of these policies, each one is going to add another layer of inflationary pressures to the economy.
Villarreal recalled reading in his economics textbook that undocumented labor makes up a significant portion of the U.S. economy. He added that deporting immigrants would leave job vacancies in farming and field industries that Americans are unwilling to fill.
For the United States to take away that percentage of the population that is undocumented and working in the United States for the minimum wage, if you take away those folks, you're going to make either the economy crash or going to a crisis because, again, the people from the United States are not willing to take those jobs.
Grove said individuals here illegally cannot earn fair wages since they are outside the formal job market, often resulting in underpayment. He said it seems that Trump's policies aim to prioritize better pay for American workers. While the specifics of mass deportation remain unclear, Grove said cutting off benefits for those not legally working might encourage them to leave voluntarily, which could help shift the focus back to lawful immigration, allowing individuals to participate in the workforce on equal terms.
Because people take advantage of the illegal immigrants. And I think we all know it living here. They pay them, under the table, they pay them less. And that hurts our workers who are from the Valley, who are trying to work and, get ahead. And so with President Trump's economic policies, they should get better wages.
The Center for Migration Studies of New York reported 8.3 million immigrants work in industries such as construction, landscaping, agriculture, and food processing. Barrow explained Trump's deportation agenda could force businesses relying on this labor to shut down.
One is you produce less, which means gross domestic product grows at a slower rate, or you close down plants, and we've seen that happen in many examples where ICE has raided like meat processing plants and poultry plants, and when they do that, those plants end up closing down permanently because they can't find anybody to do those jobs.
Groves highlighted supporting President Trump feels like backing a historic achievement, especially considering his win in the counties for Cameron, Hidalgo, Starr, Zapata, Webb, Maverick, Kinney, and Valverde. Whether Democrat or Republican, Americans share the common goal of a thriving economy and prosperity for everyone. When Trump says he is for the American people, that resonates with him. Over time, Groves said it feels like the government has shifted to serving special interests rather than the people. He said the government passes bills filled with provisions the public is not even aware of. Groves remembers a time when legislation was debated openly, allowing Americans to have a say. Sadly, he said, it seemed the U.S. lost that transparency and involvement.
And so if he can bring back, government for the American people and where we participate, and it's for us, not for, corporations or overseas interests, but it's all about the American people. And that would be a major change in the way our government is right now. And that would be a beautiful thing if he can bring that about.
This is Victoria Gonzalez for Vaquero Radio.
The University Recreation Center Department is hosting a virtual turkey trot 5K challenge run for the UTRGV community. Here's Celeste Cruz with the story.
The University Recreation Center is doing the Turkey Trot 5K challenge to engage the community in taking care of their health throughout November. Briseida Calzada, fitness and wellness assistant for the Recreation Center in Brownsville, explained the inspiration behind this event.
We all just got together, we had a meeting, and we all felt like, to celebrate the holidays, we felt like, to get people introduced to, a healthy, lifestyle,
Since this is the second year this event is being held, she spoke about how participation has changed.
But what's different about this year is that I feel that more students since we did get a lot more students this year enrolled, we feel that there's going to be more participation, and not only that, but more inclusion with everybody. More students can come together and participate in these challenges.
Gilberto Lopez, Recreation Program Coordinator for the Brownsville Recreation Centers, said this event is interactive with the community.
People will message me hey, did you get my times? And so people will get kind of competitive, and so they're competing against other people. So it's just fun for us. So, obviously, for these events, we want to make sure that we have our UTRGV community active during the holidays.
Calzada highlighted this challenge can be completed wherever and whenever the participant wishes to run.
You do it at your own pace. You don't feel as much pressure, and I feel like through the Strava app, what's something unique about that is that you are open and you're welcome into an app.
Lopez said those interested in joining the challenge are welcome to.
So people can do a mile a day or maybe half a mile every day, and they'll still be able to achieve the goal of the challenge.
Lopez said the main goal of this challenge is for people to pay more attention to their health.
We want to make sure that people that are participating, like Briseida said, that they're staying healthy and they're being a little bit more conscious about their health.
To join the Turkey Trot Challenge, register through V-Link at utrgv.campuslabs.com and download the Strava app to keep track of your progress. This is Celeste Cruz for Vaquero Radio.
Fraternity and Sorority Life hosted the Penny Wars fundraiser to help the Palm Valley Animal Society. Here's Celeste Cruz with the details.
Greek Life held a fundraiser at the Chapel Lawn on the Edinburgh campus on Tuesday and Thursday to support the Palm Valley Animal Society. The fundraiser had a twist to it because it was also a competition between the fraternity and sorority life organizations. Frank Leal, program coordinator for student organizations in fraternity and sorority life, explained how the competition works.
It's a competition, so the organization that raises the most pennies is the one that does win. Each of the organizations out here just trying to get people to donate.
He mentioned how FSL got inspired to create the Penny Wars fundraiser.
Palm Valley Animal Shelter reached out to our office to see if there was any interest in an event. What we did is we looked at something we did in the past, which was called Penny Wars. It was done a few years ago, maybe like 2018, 2019. And we decided to revive the event to give it a spin for the organizations to compete. And we decided to work with them since they reached out to us.
Audrey Solis, graduate student assistant for fraternity and sorority life, explained the purpose of the event.
The purpose of the event is for the fraternities and sororities to kind of compete against each other, but also to help give back to the community.
She explained the different ways the donations will help the animals at Palm Valley Animal Society.
This is more of a time where eventually it is going to get colder and eventually they're going to need like blankets, they're going to need food, they're going to need to buy stuff for the organization.
Ramiro Gonzalez, a work study student assistant for the Center for Student Involvement, mentioned the organization's fundraising goal.
Well, we've been speculating probably $200 in the 2 days we're going to be here.
If interested in adopting or fostering an animal, contact or visit Palm Valley Animal Society. To make an online donation, visit pvastx.org. This is Celeste Cruz for Vaquero Radio.
The Learning Center hosted Train Your Brain and Create collaborative event that brought together one big puzzle for students to unwind and de-stress. Here is Jasmine Espinosa with the story.
The Learning Center hosted its puzzle event on the Edinburgh and Brownsville campuses Tuesday to allow UTRGV students to exercise and relax. Gina Castillo, Program Assistant for the Academic Coaching for Excellent program at the Learning Center, said this event was to relieve students from feeling overwhelmed with the semester ending soon.
We're holding this event so that students can come in, connect with their peers as they connect the puzzle together. Just a way to have them de-stress from the semester. I know that this month we're going to be a little more stressed out, feeling a little burnt out because the end of the semester is coming. We have final projects. We've been juggling internships and all of our coursework.
On Tuesday, students were invited to grab a piece of a puzzle at the University Library lobby in Edinburgh and the Music, Science, and Learning Center lobby in Brownsville. Castillo said students can work on the puzzle before or after class.
So it's one puzzle that we're just putting together. It's 1,000 pieces. Students can come in, work on the puzzle for a little bit if they're on their way to class, and then after class come back.
Elias Alvarez, a UTRGV student, said he was on his way to class and decided to stop by with his friends before going to class.
So right now I have a class at 3:30, so since I had time, I was like, might as well do it.
The Learning Center not only wants to bring students together, but Castillo said it also wants the students to be familiar with the service they offer.
The Learning Center has academic coaching, peer coaching, whether it's one-on-one to work with you to learn more study methods, to learn how to organize yourself better, to help with your time management. And also we have the tutoring sessions. So a lot of students don't know that the tutoring is also free at the university.
Alvarez said he felt anxious during his midterm and decided to get help for his calculus class.
Actually, I went to a tutoring session for my calculus class. I think it was like a month ago. So I went upstairs and I had a meeting with my tutor.
Castillo explained sometimes students have a difficulty getting the help that they need, or they might not be aware of the extra help available to them.
You need a little bit of extra help. The tutoring lab is always open so they can go in, check in with a tutor, get the help that they need. If they're feeling, a little overwhelmed about something that they're going through, they can come in and meet with an academic coach. So it's a great place for them to study and also, have other resources at hand as they're studying.
For more information about the Learning Center, call 956-665-2585 in Edinburgh or 956-882-8208 in Brownsville. The Learning Center is available by email at learningscenter@utrgv.edu. In Edinburgh, the organization is located in the Learning Center building, room 100, and in Brownsville at the Music, Science, and Learning building. This is Jasmine Espinosa with Vaquero Radio.
And McClain goes up and throws down a monster dunk. That fires up the UTRGV field house.
And now time for Vaquero Sports.
The women's volleyball team hits the court as they gear up for future games. Leonardo Bajardo has the details.
Following the final conference game, the UTRGV women's volleyball team is determined to make its mark on the court as they prepare to compete in their next tournament. As of Friday, the Vaqueros hold a 15-10 overall score and an 11-4 conference score. The Vaqueros faced Incarnate Word on Thursday at home. The team then faced Houston Christian University on Saturday. Results will be available at goutrgv.com. Senior right side Paris Key commented on her growth from starting as a freshman to becoming the team's leader. Her dedication to getting new athletes and motivation to succeed drives her to continue to bring her all to every match.
I think my leadership skills have grown a lot. I think over the years I've learned from other people, and then also just having to step up into that role has grown me into a better person. Just making sure that they know what they're doing, making sure like we're on time as a team and we're calm and relaxed when we're playing.
She also spoke about the importance of proper communication amongst the team to maintain composure during games.
I think we try hard as a team to make sure we're speaking to each other in a respectful manner regardless of what's going on. So we've had talks about that as a team and like with coach and just controlling what we can control.
Senior outside hitter Ilana de Aces, originally from Spain, transferred in her junior year from Missouri State University West Plains to UTRGV. She said her motivation is rooted in being far from home, driving her to work harder to make those who support her proud.
My motivation is I'm so far at home, so now I have to work hard to get better. I'm out of my house since I'm 15 years old, so it's always a motivation. I'm trying to get happiness to my parents too.
She described the cultural and gameplay changes she faced when coming from Spain and the impact it has on her in the court.
Everything changed, the tempo of the ball. Playing with America is more, I have to take care of what I'm going to say because I can mess up the whole team because I think they take more personal than us Brazilian. I'm going to scream at you, next point is next point.
Head coach Talo Eri highlighted the crucial roles Key and the Aces played in maintaining team spirit through leadership and adaptability.
Obviously, big leaders on the court for us and off the court. Paris has been a captain for us for a couple of years and sets the tone of the team. And I think Alana's just had a phenomenal season playing in a new position. Just two tough kids that are coming and bringing it every single day and giving us everything they have as we close out the season.
He said the team's biggest strength competing is their commitment to focusing on areas of improvement rather than sticking to strengths.
Our offense is really good, and when we pass the ball well, we've proven that we're pretty much really hard to stop within the conference. They know the balls that they don't hit well. They know the things that they don't do well and come in and put more time into those things that we don't do well instead of just doing the same things that we already know.
The Vaqueros are traveling out to play in the Southland Conference Tournament on Friday, November 22nd in Hammond, Louisiana. This is Leonardo Guajardo for Vaquero Radio.
Newton drops straight back towards a crossing route. McCaffrey, touchdown. That's big time.
Good morning, Vaqueros. Here's the sports schedule for this week. The men's basketball team will be going head-to-head against the University of Wisconsin-Madison at 7 p.m. Monday in Madison, Wisconsin. The women's swimming team will be making waves at the Vandal Invitational starting Friday in Boise, Idaho. The women's diving team will hit the road to compete in the Tiger Invitational beginning at 1:30 p.m. on Friday in San Antonio. Don't forget to bring your student ID to all UTRGV games for free admission, and remember to support our student athletes. This is Leonardo Guajardo for Vaquero Radio.
And now for this week's events calendar.
Hey Vaqueros, it's time to talk about what's happening this week on campus. First up, we're kicking off the week with a beer tournament this Tuesday at 1 p.m. You can show off your skills at both Edinburgh and Brownsville campuses. The action is happening in the Student Union game rooms of both campuses. You can register either on B-Links or right there in the game room. There's a chance to win B-Bucks, so don't miss it. Next, get your shoes ready because Zumba Step is here and it's happening at 5:30 p.m. at the University Recreation Center. It's your time to shine on the dance floor with some energizing Zumba moves. Bring your friends, bring the energy, and let's make it a workout party to remember. Don't forget to bring your student ID to all UTRGV events. This is Jan Trejo with the events for this week.
And now, for this week's campus weather report.
Hey Vaqueros, here's the weather forecast for this week. We start partly cloudy this Monday, reaching a high of 94 degrees. We're going into Tuesday with sunshine and clouds with a high of 88 degrees. Wednesday brings sunny skies, reaching a high of 79 degrees. It will be sunny this Thursday and we go back down a few degrees to reach a high of 77. Friday will be generally sunny, climbing back up the scale to 81 degrees. Remember to dress accordingly for these weather conditions. This is Victoria Gonzalez for Vaquero Radio.
That is the newscast for this week.
Remember to read our news articles every week on our website, utrgvradio.com.
Tune into Vaquero Radio through our website or download the Radio Garden app to listen wherever you are and enjoy the best DJ shows around campus. Remember to check out our YouTube channel for the latest news from UTRGV and the Valley.
Our weekly newscast will also be broadcasted at 11 a.m. every Wednesday.
Join us next week, same time, same place.
Only on Vaquero Radio, the Valley's student station.
Thanks for tuning in, Vaqueros. Be sure to saddle up at 11 a.m. every Monday and Wednesday for another newscast. And as always, V's up!